My sober coaching is going to be so unique, so all over the place. So here's how we're going to start. I understand why everyone, man or female, becomes a hoe or has a hoe phase villain era. I was this close to entering mine. I was on the phone with my friend. To be fair, the next day I had my period, so the life crisis was on time, if you ask me. But like all my life, I've been like a good girl, whatever the fuck everyone to call it. Didn't have my first sexual experience at 23. Like I was definitely holding out, staying away from all that sin. And all that to say, I was on the phone with my friend. I said, I think I need to start being a hoe. Like I think I just need to go out there, build up a roster. I've never been the type of girl to build a roster. Everyone's telling me to start off with my starting five, get my bench players, play the game around, get my big three, then pick my one. That is what I was informed to do. So I'm on the phone with my really, really great friend, and I'm telling her like, I think I'm gonna start being whole. I'm gonna build up the roster. I'm bang, 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 and she's like, but is that who you are? And I said, well, people can just like change their identity at any time. And she's like, but is that who you are? I said, but I've been doing this for years and it hasn't been working for me. I don't think I've been yielding the results that I want. This hasn't been working for me. So the only way to get different results is to do something different. Isn't that insanity? She said, but is that who you are? That night I was going out to be a hoe and I ended up having a great safe, a great safe, authentic night to who I am. When I would get drunk and high, I would go out to these events and be like, freak of the week, pulling any and everyone that I want, being totally into it. I might have made out with a couple people before. Like that was my jazz. I'm that girl. That was when I was using substances. So when I've been sober, as I've been sober, I go out to these events and I'm a super low key. I'm like, I just want to come out and people watch. And I'm definitely gonna shimmy, but not the main character I used to be, right? And so this was my first, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This weekend was the first night I ever went out sober and stayed authentic to myself. I went out with my buddies. Mind you, it does take, I'm so used to it. I have so much patience for a lot of people. Like, I don't like going out with drunk people. I don't like being out with high people. I've built the patience for it, so that doesn't really bother me. I go out and I wore the sexiest dress. I wouldn't have even worn that dress unless I was high or drunk. Okay, catch me, catch me. I wore this dress sober, feeling sexy as fuck. I felt sexy without drugs. What? I'm taking a sip of coffee today. When I went out that night, I pulled everything and everybody without even having to be lustful. Without even having to be lustful. You're like, what? That's a whole nother different conversation. I'll go down that avenue, but a lot of people are like, that's a place of sin and da da da. And it's like, okay, cool. But the club is no different from the church, but we can talk about that another time. But I say as to say, it's no coinkydink that people find so much freedom in clubs and bars because that is the most judge-free place. Is there a lot of shenanigans that go on in these places? Absolutely. I'm not a fan of how much people get sexually harassed and followed and stalked at these places. But I understand why people enjoy it because there's a level of freedom there that doesn't exist in other spaces, quite like other spaces. And it's a blessing to find that space within a church or anywhere that you feel safe to just be who you are, the divine, loving soul that you are. Okay, so skip through the entire night. And long story short, I I like to say everyone goes out just to play house. So I'll go out, and this guy's like obsessed. He says he wants to marry me, and I was just not convinced. I entertained it the whole night because it was a good time. Like, I'm like, this is great. Like, someone should meet me for the first time and want to marry me. But I also realized maybe I really am gay because if a woman was doing what he was doing, okay. We've gotten so off task. And I want you all to see I am just a person that just chooses to be sober and live life authentically. The way I like, I want you to live a life you don't even have to cope from. And so, all that to say, this weekend, I had a sober night out. I didn't have to show any skin for this man. I didn't have to act like I wanted to kiss him. I didn't even have to act like I wanted to have sex with him. I didn't even have to look him lustfully in the eyes, guys. All I did was be myself, which was a dancer. I danced with so many random people. I had so many fun conversations with random people. It was amazing. I got to shimmy my little heart out and I was sober. So all that to say is that truly, y'all, we talk ourselves out of these things. Like the personality and the character traits that you find while you're under the influence. You may feel like you're more calm, high. You're more creative, high. You're more relaxed, drunk. And you come up with all these things on why you use the substance and the characteristics that you love and that you just can't come up with when you're sober. Honey, you can. I promise you can. I promise you, you can. So this is what this story was about. This is what this TMI was about. And in my coaching, there's no such thing as too much information on. We're gonna get to nitty gritty. There's no way we're gonna find our sobriety through lying. It's literally a requirement. Integrity and discipline are the requirements for sobriety. And as a coach, I am still getting into nitty gritty of things, and I feel like there's so many phases of your sobriety, and I'm in that phase where it's like, wait, let's reclaim our identity. And when I was at these clubs and bars, I reclaimed my power in a place that I used to give it all away to. So sobriety is about reclaiming your power, baby, because you're giving it to this fucking substance. Drink to that. I did have a point where your girl was on fire. She got into a VIP section without shimmying, shaking, no I didn't have to perform at all, y'all. We get into this VIP section and they're pouring each and every person up shots. I dip and dodge that shit. I got my Red Bull. And my friend let me know this conversation happened on the side. And she was like, why isn't your friend drinking? And my friend was like, oh, she chooses to be sober. She was like, why? Then my friend's like, oh, because like that's her lifestyle. Why? Like the woman just kept asking her why. It's annoying, it's daunting, whatever the case may be. But I remember when I used to use and I would be around sober people, and I'm like, why? And you constantly ask because you're like, you know something I don't, because I want to stop doing this shit low key. And if you give me a good enough reason, I just might invest. Then the guy comes up to me and he's like, are you drinking? And I'm like, I'm the designated driver. And he's like, but you didn't even take your first shot. And I was like, I'm already jacked up. He's like, I'm gonna let you slide. Like, I'm not finna peer pressure you nothing, but I know you ain't drunk. So sometimes you just gotta say something to get them out your face, because you just saying I'm sober, I don't drink doesn't quite do the trick. I wish we could just authentically say it, y'all. Sometimes you just gotta throw something out to get them off your trail. So yes, my sober coaching content in October, we're about to take it up a fucking notch, because I want to talk to the girl that was lit. I want to talk to that version of myself that was getting down and busy, not the girl that already figured it out. We're talking to the people. We are talking and creating a community for our substance users and abusers, the one that is healthy, safe, forgiving, loving, and hold your ass accountable. Okay, pumpkins. Again, video tonight coming out with budgeting. Budgeting is so important. Y'all spend so fucking much money on this shit and don't pay attention until it's the end of the night, and now you're wondering how you're gonna pay your phone bill and rent. Stop spending your fucking money on this shit. But we're gonna figure it out together. We sure are. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. Let's add variety by starting sobriety. Let's navigate sobriety in this society. All right, talk to you all later.